Once there was a woman dressed in traditional Palestinian attire who was unable to have children. One day, the thought of children crossed her mind, and she cried out, "Oh God, why me? Why can't I have children like others? I wish I could conceive and give birth to a child. God, grant me a daughter, even if she is just a pot." Time passed, and the woman became pregnant. As the time approached for her to give birth, she experienced great pain. She gave birth, but to her dismay, it was just a pot. What could she do? Heartbroken, she cleaned it and placed it on a shelf. As time went by, the pot began to speak, saying, "Mother, take me down." She asked, "Why should I take you down?" The pot replied, "Take me down, and I will sing for you." She took it down, and the pot said, "Mother, let me out of the house." She let it out, and it began to roll around, chanting, "Pot, pot." It rolled to a place where people gathered. A man saw it and said, "Who placed this beautiful pot here? It looks like silver." He asked around, but no one answered. He decided to take it home. On his way, he stopped at a honey shop and filled the pot with honey. He showed it to his wife, saying, "Look, my dear, how beautiful this pot is." They were delighted and placed it in the kitchen. 2 days later, guests arrived, and they wanted to serve honey. The wife tried to open the pot but couldn't. She called her husband for help, but he couldn't open it either. The guests tried, but the lid wouldn't budge. They called a blacksmith, but he too failed. The husband, frustrated, threw the pot and cursed its owner. When he returned home, the pot rolled back to its mother, saying, "Pot, pot." It reached her and said, "Mother, place me on the table and open my lid." The mother was surprised by its return and, upon opening the lid, found it filled with honey. She was overjoyed, emptied the honey, and cleaned the pot. The pot then said, "Mother, let me out of the house." She let it out, and it began to roll, chanting, "Pot, pot." It arrived at a place where people were gathered. Another man saw it and asked, "Whose pot is this?" No one answered, so he took it home. On his way, he went to the butcher and filled the pot with meat. He returned and showed it to his wife, who was thrilled. A day passed, and they wanted to cook the meat. They tried to open the pot, but couldn't. They called a blacksmith, but he failed as well. The husband, enraged, threw the pot and cursed its owner. The pot returned to its mother, rolling and saying, "Pot, pot." She placed it on the table and opened the lid, finding the meat inside. She was delighted and cleaned it. The next day, the pot said, "Mother, let me out." She let it out, and it began to roll, chanting, "Pot, pot." It reached a place near the royal palace. The prince saw it and exclaimed, "What a beautiful pot." He asked, "Whose pot is this?" No one answered, so he took it home. He showed it to his wife, saying, "Look, my dear, how beautiful this pot is." His wife admired it and decided to store her gold jewelry in it. She filled the pot with all her money until it was full, closed it, and placed it in the cupboard. 2 days later, there was a wedding for her brother. She took the pot to wear her jewelry, but when she tried to open it, she failed. She called her husband for help, but he couldn't open it either. They called a blacksmith, but he too failed. The husband, frustrated, threw the pot and cursed its owner, unaware that it contained something precious. When he realized its value, he went to return it, but it was gone. The pot rolled back to its mother, saying, "Pot, pot." She said, "Let me take you out." She took it out and said, "Why didn't you come out before? People know you now."